Well, there's the clay working tools right there. And these things did some job. Here, I said I would show you what it looked like originally. That's what it looked like originally underneath. And that's what I would have had to recreate out of that flat part I had left. And look how far in I would have had to dig that wood out. Because the top of that lump that you see way in the back where that like bottom screw hole is, that's where the flat part, that's where the edge of the flat part would have been. And I would have had to cut that all out. Look how far in it would have had to sit. I mean, that's got to be like a good ½ inch. There's no way that that bottom would have lined up. It would have gone in way too far and it would have been overhanging way too much. Even just going in that 1/8 of an inch that I went in, it started hanging over the bottom edge because of that taper. So that's why I think this was the right move. Not a permanent move. This is just a try, but this I think is going to be the final stage before I actually bake it. I was going to try to use a hair dryer because this can't fit in the oven. But a hair dryer, I measured the temperature. It only got up to like 135. I had no idea what a hair dryer would get up to. But 135 I don't think is enough. They say 275 for 15 minutes. You don't mess around with polymer material. It's very exacting, and not enough heat might cure it halfway, and then who knows what's going to happen. I don't want this to fail, so I'll figure out a way to do it right. I got the whole family sleeping right now, so can't go in there and start manipulating the oven. But I think tomorrow when I get home from work, no one's around, I think I'll just, put it on something with just the butt in the oven and have like an oven thermometer in there just to make sure it's, if I have to set it at 375 to make the inside 275, I'll just heat up the whole freaking house and stick it in there and leave it in there for 15 minutes with just the butt sticking in the oven. But not bad, huh? I mean, if not for the discoloration, you'd hardly be able to tell that that wasn't wood. I think it came out pretty damn good. I'm especially proud of this bottom part because this was the hard part. Because like I said, how when it sat forward like that, it didn't quite line up with the wood, but that's a pretty good job right there. This is not something you'd notice once it's colored right. Now I have to figure out what the hell you could paint to make it look like wood. There's got to be like wood fill that you use or something. Somebody's got to be able to help in that respect. None of these gunsmiths would be able to help to actually get this thing on, but one of them's got to be able to just point to something on the shelf that when you paint with it, it looks like wood. And then it will be mint. It's just that it's not, I really doubt it's going to be able to ever come off. That's the thing. Could never sell this without forgetting to tell someone because they'll think you're trying to scam them. Because with these Schmidt Rubins, the first thing people want to do is pull off the butt plate to see if there's like a name in there. Imagine the guy pulls it off and there's like chunks of freaking clay falling on the floor. I shudder to even call it clay, because it isn't. It's more like Bondo. It's very interesting shit. But yeah, that's the way we're going to leave it. I guess the follow-up video will be after baking, and then I guess when I find something to match the look of that wood and put that on there after the final sanding. I left just a teeny bit extra on the edges, just the teeniest bit of extra, you see that? Just so that I'd have something to sand it perfectly flat. Not that the butt plate was even that perfectly attached to these things. I mean, I've looked at them. They're high quality rifles, but they were military made stuff. The Swiss did a good job, but I mean, even if there was a slight gap or whatever there, it wouldn't be like unusual. This is almost like too perfect. But we'll see. We'll see the final product. I'm hopeful. I'm thinking this was good. And the cool thing about this is if it just doesn't work, if 1 or 2 rounds fired cracks it or breaks it, Because, you know, you do have to remember there is going to be the shock of a 7.5 by 55 round slamming this thing into your shoulder. And if perchance it fails, you unscrew it, you break all the clay off, and you're back at square one. No big deal. You could still go the match it to the wood route. But I'm hopeful this is going to be good. Alright, everyone. If you hung in there through these, thank you. And have a happy 4th of July.